I'm happy, man. I'm happy for Khabib and what he's doing in terms of his promotion. You're gonna see that Eagle FC is gonna run into kind of a lot of problems in terms of, not problems. I shouldn't say problem. It's not a problem. Okay, I should rephrase that. Is that they need to sign name value people, and so people are gonna say, oh well, Kevin Lee's washed up, Diego's washed up. You guys, they have to sign name value people to get people to watch and tune in, because the casual fan, the normal fan at home, sitting on Twitter talking shit, okay, about every other organization that's not the UFC.
What are they talking?
Yeah, talking trash. So they're talking trash because they don't know any other fighters than the fighters that have come from the UFC. And so that's why this whole thing happens. So when they need to sign fighters for name recognition, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get Kevin Lee's, Diego Sanchez, and these type of fights to get the casual fan to say, you know what, maybe I'm going to tune in and watch. But what they're going to find when they do that is what they should be. Because when I entered this show, what did I say? I said, we do this show so we can talk about the sport of MMA. You guys, when you guys watch Eagle FC, take a look at who is on their undercard, what young studs and stars they're potentially trying to build. That's what you guys should be watching out for. That's what this is all about. They're going to have this be the headliner, or they're going to have this be like one of the main fights on the card, if not the headliner. But guess what? The young talent that you're going to see on the undercard or on that main card, but underneath the main event, those kids, those studs will be just stone cold killers. And you guys need to pay very close attention to them, because every organization, whether it's UFC, Bellator, PFL, they've got to be keeping an eye out on them, because those are the ones that you're going to see next in the bigger promotions. Now, I'm not saying that the Eagle FC is not going to try to be a big promotion themselves, but I think in the beginning they're going to have a hard time doing that. And I think that if you're promoting this, if you're watching the sport of MMA, you guys need to keep an eye out on the young talent that Khabib has on his young roster.
It's a matter of, I'm just going to say it. First off, I don't like the fight. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I don't.
Kevin Lee is 29 years old. Diego will be 40 when that fight, because I think Diego turns 40 right at the end of the year here. So Diego's been just a warrior. He's an incredible guy. I love him. But you take a look at it. Here comes the speed. Speed creates problems. And in the stand-up, although Diego has an unusual style, it will give Kevin some problems. But if Kevin gets on a rhythm on him, it's going to be tough for Diego. Diego's not going to have. It's going to be very tough for him to take Kevin down. And if he's on the ground with Kevin, he's going to be great. It's when he's on the feet with him, absorbing damage, that's not going to be good. And it's the speed factor that makes the big difference here. I understand what Khabib is trying to do by putting this fight together, but I look at it and I go, Diego's done a ton in the sport of MMA, and he's had some great times. He's had some hard times. I just don't want to see him going out with him being the guy. It was kind of that way, with his last fights in the UFC. They're trying to use his name, get other guys over, and get that victory against the guy who is the legend of the sport, the guy that's been there forever, the guy who won, the Ultimate Fighter won. And I don't know. I don't think it's a good fight. And I mean, I'll watch it. I'm not saying I won't. I just don't think that the matchup at this point in their careers is a fair matchup. I think, Diego's got to get the fight down. If he gets the fight down, he can definitely win the fight. Other than that, he's going to have a hard time.
But here's the thing, though. Kevin Lee has never been known for the way he conserves his energy.
This is true.
And in the pace at which Diego fights, the longer the fight goes, I actually got to lean. It's going to favor
that's
Diego
true.
Sanchez.
That's true.
Because one thing Diego's always been able to do is come in shape, and he's always been able to push the pace. Yeah. That first round is going to be rough.
Oh.
So if he can get through that first round, maybe even the first round and a half.
Yeah.
But I think if you could potentially start to see him take over. Depends on which Kevin Lee shows up. I said this, John, 2 years ago when we started this show. He's the kid that I think that everyone has extreme high expectations for. He just hasn't been able to live up to it. I don't know what's wrong with him in terms of conditioning, cardio, mindset. I don't know what that is, but he's got to figure it out at some point in stage of his career. He's 29 years old. This is when it should be the most effective.
Oh yeah.
Because he's in his prime.
He should be on fire right
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't understand what it's all about, but I'm obviously gonna lean towards Kevin in this situation. But I think Diego, as the longer this fight goes, if he can weather that first round storm, I think he's got a good chance of winning.
Yeah. You may be right there. I just look at the speed, just scares the hell out of me comparatively.
But you remember who else didn't have speed, but he had a very herky-jerky style, was Keith Jardine.
Oh, yeah.
He found ways to find the chin. He kind of threw off some of the top-level fighters.
Because he had a strange stand-up style, man. It's hard to figure out.
That's what Diego has.
Oh, he does.
He has that style, but he also comes with a lot more pace than what Keith Jardine did. And so when I'm looking at this fight, I'm going, Diego's pace, and then the way his punches come and the way he throws, it could throw Kevin off and just start making him fight a fight he's not comfortable with, and we've seen kind of Kevin fold a little bit as he starts to get tired.
Yeah.
So this is one of those fights. You never know. I don't know. I'm kind of interested in it, but we'll see.
100% agree.